And I'm talking about Astro Bot, baby. A game that I have finished
Well done.
before talking about because I wanted to so badly. Oh, so Astro Bot, if you
Is
have
that a PS5? Sorry.
It is.
It is.
It is. Sorry, that's Astrobot's ship. To clarify, it's his main ship. So Astrobot, it's made by Team Asobi, formerly Japan studio. Probably know them for, the myriad of stuff that they've made. But they became Team Asobi a few years ago to focus on Astrobot after the success of Astro's Playroom. If you played Astro's Playroom, which came with the PS5, it was a platformer that came free with the PS5, pretty much like a tech demo showing off how the controller works, how the console works, and all that noise, while also celebrating the hardware history of the PlayStation. When it came to that game, the only critiques that people had for it was that there wasn't enough. So along came Astrobot, the full game from Team Asobi that focuses on Astrobot. So basically how it starts is, as you can see, you are flying in your PlayStation 5 ship with all your bot friends. It crashes because of this fucked up alien. Everybody gets lost, you die, but you don't actually. And you have to go on your adventure in this whimsical platformer. So there's 5 worlds, 5 galaxies. And in these 5 galaxies in total, there are 80 planets that you discover. And each planet...
Sorry, 80?
80.
80 total, not within each galaxy.
80 total.
Was that 80 levels?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that includes bonus levels, but yeah, like 80 plus type thing. But it is I want to say standard platformer, but also they've got so much extra that I feel like that doesn't do it justice. But like, it's a platform that clearly takes a lot of inspiration from all the platformers that have come before it, but it doesn't feel old. It doesn't feel like it's recycling ideas from all these other platformers. It has that same game feel. So you get that same sense of joy and fun and, once again, whimsy that came from playing Super Mario 64 for the first time, or Banjo-Kazooie for the first time, or Crash Bandicoot for the first time. It is a joy to play. It is so much fun. Each level feels incredibly different from one another. That's helped by the various power-ups that are available in each level. They include things like you've got a little dog on your back that makes you like jet forward. It's like a boost. And then you've got a chicken that makes you boost up. There's also a time control one that makes you slow time. And that one, so very quickly, this game, at every single moment, it felt like it was bragging. It was bragging about what it was capable of. It was bragging about how smooth everything was, how good everything looked. The perfect example to me, 2 things. The sheer amount of shit they would just put on screen at any given time. Like, anytime you finish a level and win, it is followed by just like hundreds of apples just appearing on the screen, or like gems appearing on the screen, and you moving through them, and you can feel them in the controller. Just the sheer amount of stuff that's in front of you that the console is capable of doing is incredible. As well as that, the slow time power-up that you get in certain levels, Nitro, talking about the casino level, exactly, it is incredible, because you've got this whole level which is moving so fast, obviously, because you have to slow time. And in slowing that time, like, you're slowing down a dart from going at high speed so you can jump on that dart to get to the other side. You're slowing down time to stop chips from coming out of a what are they called? Poker machine? You're stopping chips coming out of a poking machine, and they're positioned so perfectly that you can platform from one to the other.
Yeah, cool.
It's this game doesn't stop showing off. It is so delightful and perfect timing, because I want to talk about the bots as well. This game is adorable. This game was made for me. It was made for me because I love that cutesy shit. I live for it. And as was the case in Astro's Playroom. You're going around all these levels, rescuing different bots. And some of them are cameos from different PlayStation games. If you still got your save from Astro's Playroom on that console, you get 4 extra bots at the start of Astro Bot. But other than that, I think there are over 150 cameo bots to collect. 300 bots in total. The other half are just regular old bots, which is still really cute. But the cameo bots cover just so much of PlayStation's history. There's a few stranger missions, like there's nothing from Final Fantasy, which I thought was really fascinating. But at the same time, while Astro's Playroom was a kind of how to use the PS5 / celebration of PlayStation's history of hardware, this game is a celebration of their software legacy. So much of these characters come specifically from Japan studio as well, which is huge because, if you don't know, Team Asobi was originally an offshoot from Japan studio, and then once Astro's Playroom got more interest and they started making this game, Japan studio just became Team Asobi. And before they did that, Japan studio was responsible for like Parappa the Rapper and Boku no Natsuyasumi. I'm saying the deep cut ones, but like
as a point that like they feel super niche, or like for people, it's not just let's pick our 5 mascots that everyone associates.
It's
it's
like
like
Drake.
it's all Crash
Yeah.
Bandicoot. It's like they're there, but they're also going, let's pick the stuff here that shows like a true love for the actual eras that this console has gone through.
They have like Vib Ribbon in here, which is crazy, and it's so cute. Like, obviously it's so cute, but it's really heartwarming to me to just have seen how much care Team Asobi has put into shining a spotlight on the legacy of PlayStation software. I think it's really neat.
They've clearly like got such an aesthetic with the Astro Bot that's developed since the Playroom and then the VR game, that it's like everyone's become accustomed to this aesthetic and this look of just being able to slap these blue glowy eyes on everything, that it's an aesthetic that doesn't feel cheap when you then attach it to all those other franchises. It has that kind of like, let's Astro Botify all these things.
Like Pockety.
Pockety, thank you. Yeah. And it becomes endearing. It doesn't feel like you're just forcing all these other brands into this game.
No.
It is done with a sort of a love, and, well, even if it's not done with love, it's done with a way that feels and looks so lovely that you are not jaded about it. It's like, I love this about it.
And I think the good thing with Astro Bot is like it's kind of just time and time again been proven to rock. Like it's not a case of like, oh, we're forcing this mascot. Astro kind of naturally became that by being just non-stop bangers. Like the first game was Robots Rescue that was part of the Playroom VR, so it wasn't even an Astro specific game, but everybody loved that mini game in the Playroom VR so much that they made Astro Bot Rescue Mission, which got rave reviews.
People are dying to play the sequel to that
exactly
should come out next.
And then when Astro's Playroom came out, it was the same thing of like everybody loved it so much, so they just wanted more, and that's where this came along. The fact that they managed to do that twice, make 2 bite-sized experiences so good that people begged them for more, and then they did, and then both of those big games slapped, is very impressive.
It's totally the justification for my biggest problem with all this as well, which is like, it just like to me is a bit cringe because it's just PlayStation ad, like.
That's my major thing. It's like it's cute and it's beautiful and it's fun to play, but like the coins having the PS logo.
I know. It feels like it just feels so in your face that you're just playing the PlayStation game. Yeah. But like that it came from tech demo. Like this was just going to be a tech demo, and then people were like, we desperately want more. Because it felt so good to play, and it's like, okay, like that's the justification.
They've earned their right to then make the great game around it.
Yeah. It's like it's like, if Mario was running around picking up Nintendo coins, I'd be like, that's so cringe. Mario picks up Mario coins from the Mushroom Kingdom, and he became a mascot because all of that design was amazing. Whereas all of this is like borrowed design, but it also is justified because of where it came from. So I'm glad that that it is just a brilliant platformer, because we need more brilliant.
It's
and
also,
I think it kind of comes as well, like on that, from the fact that like Japan's studio, now Team Asobi, has such a rich history with PlayStation, like from the very beginning. So it almost feels like justified as well, in the sense that they've been there from the start. They know its roots. They're probably the most equipped to make a game celebrating them, which is what this, to me and to many other people, this game doesn't feel like an ad. It feels like it surpasses that. Because one, the tributes are so heartwarming. Like, it's not just like pointing and pogging.
But what is it? Because I haven't played this. How is a tribute any more than, that Astro Bot is wearing the Parappa the Rapper skin?
Well, I don't want to spoil.
It actually is good. Like, I mean, okay, that's cute.
This is,
and there's crates full of apples.
This is at this current moment in time. My game of the year, hands down. It is. I could not stop smiling playing all the way through this.
But I'm assuming, like, to answer half of Pete's question, there might be I'm gonna get this wrong. I haven't played it either. Parappa the Rapper might then be actually dancing to a song that's from the game that only people who know that, and he's doing the exact same moves. Or
but that's still just finding a trophy. Is the level a homage to what Parappa the Rapper offered, or
so
levels?
Because it just feels like everything's just token, and that's fine. It's just like, because that's what the game is. It's like, this is a sea of tokens, and that, like, I think I'm totally fine with that now. I kind of just had a problem with it when I was like, I wish it was, because Banjo-Kazooie isn't interesting because of the fact that it was on the Nintendo 64. It's interesting because it is internally interesting, whereas this felt like it was only interesting because of its references. But it sounds like it is more than that, and that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. And I really don't, like, I don't want to spoil stuff, because, like, this was the sort of game where, like, I was lucky enough to play it as a review copy. So I was in there before a lot of people, and each moment of surprise, and it's from things as small as a character that you would not expect to see in any current game making an appearance, all the way to a full-on secret level, completely getting the vibe of the game that it's about right. Like, there's one secret level that I can talk about because it's probably the most covered, and it was shown off in like previews and stuff. But the first secret level, quote unquote, that you find is an Ape Escape level. And as we know, Ape Escape, made by Japan's studio. People who are at Team Asobi who had worked on this game had definitely worked on Ape Escape. That level, to its very core, felt like playing Ape Escape.
Okay.
Like, it was a one-to-one, but still had, you know, the iconography of Astro Bot, and like the cutesy, sweet, like, happy world vibe. But as well, you were in the full Ape Escape outfit. You had your net. You were running around catching apes, and the Ape Escape music was playing in the background, but it still had like the aesthetic of being in space, like a Super Mario Galaxy type situation, like, you know, having the area. Yeah. So that is just one of the secret levels. It was absolutely fantastic. And with that, I hope kids play this game, experience that level, and then want to go back and play Ape Escape. Because the Ape Escape games are amazing, you know? So, like, that felt like such a true and genuine homage, and that happens over and over and over again, because you've got more secret levels that come through that, once again, while still having that cutesy platformer Astro Bot vibe, are the Astro Bot versions of these games, and they're perfect.
I think to answer that, it's like the idea that they
taking a lot of drugs there.
No, I was just like bringing attention to Grass Dragon's point. If they were really smart, those kinds of levels would then link to the PSN store, and that's where, again, it goes back to the thing of like, yeah, this is just a fucking ad.
It's a difference. They're both elements of things to be enjoyed from creativity. It's just one, as you pointed out, Ruby. It's like, you love that, and I think most people will. But it is in itself creatively, it's a homage. It's pulling from things that have already existed. So therefore, it doesn't get complete top marks for being someone has like come up with something purely original and along with the gameplay.
It's getting a lot of 10s, and like okay,
Yeah,
let's again go back to the Mario Galaxy comparison, where it's like, okay, Mario's amazing. They make Mario Galaxy. It's a fantastic game. And then there are some levels that are like you prefer more than others for whatever reason, but they're making new characters that sometimes work and sometimes, or new enemies that sometimes work and sometimes don't. In this game, the opposite is like true, where the Astro Bot stuff is, you know, those enemies are the least interesting thing in the game because it's actually about, oh, now I'm in the fucking Parappa the Rapper world. That's cool. Like, I guess it's just like a flip on the Mario mentality where Mario is always cool and what's he going to encounter, whereas this is like, Astro Bot is cool. The rest of the Astro Bot design is fine. Those ladybugs, who cares? But I'm gonna encounter cool shit from other PlayStation IP.
It's weird because I think the ladybugs and all that stuff is the cool stuff because I think that's the original stuff. Versus like, yeah, the other stuff is a little bit member berries. It's a bit like, oh, you like this, remember this, you like these.
I think it's just we're old.
Yes.
I think we're just annoyed
I
by
think you
media
need-
being meta these days,
I think-
and so referential. Like I
Yeah.
just fucking hate references. I hate references, and this is only references. This game,
It's not.
but that's fine.
No,
It's
I don't
not.
think it's not. It's not just
I really
references.
disagree with that. I
But I don't
really.
know any of these PlayStation games, so am I going to enjoy the platforming? That's all I really care about. and it
Yes,
sounds
you
like,
will.
think
You
will.
will.
And it
It is
sounds
an
like absolutely,
incredible.
yeah.
It is an incredible platforming. It is a smooth, good feel platforming experience. It is one of the best platformers I've played in a very long time, and I play a lot of platformers.
Well, that's why I'm
it
gonna
has
play it for
so
this.
much variety when it comes to all of the different levels and all these power-ups. Add even more variety, but then I don't know. I just like I understand where you're coming from. I don't agree with it at all. I think
But what
you
do you
need
disagree with?
that it's just references because it's not.
But it's like I think it is, but that's okay. It's just how it's designed is to be like you're playing
you
through
should
the
play
reference
it.
level.
It
I'm
has both.
going
It has
to.
both. It has
I'm not
heaps of
saying it- I'm-
hang on, it has heaps of references, but from what I've heard and what you've said, Ruby, it like has really tight platforming. It has really a lot of those original
stand up
ideas
on
in all
itself.
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
gonna pick this up and play it, and I'm probably gonna like ignore all that stuff that's happening that feels like these are the references, and I'm gonna love the fact that there's gonna be interesting platforming and mechanic ideas that don't really play into any of that stuff, which is the thing I've been seeing getting really good marks as well. People are like,
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
recognize the Ape Escape's design. I'm just gonna play something that feels.
I'm going to
cool.
go, that level used a really clever trick and had a really fun platforming
Yeah.
thing that I might not have experienced anywhere else.
Ben makes a really good point in the chat. The references are honestly a less significant part of the game. Like,
Yeah, right.
yes, because such a big part of it is how good the platforming feels.
Mm.
Like, playing this game gave me the same, as I said at the start, gave me the same feeling of like excitement and whimsy that came with playing those early platformers as a kid,
Yeah.
especially the challenge levels, which are a kick in the dick. Oh my God. You tried one with me when we tried the preview, and
And it was an early one, and it was like a good challenge.
yeah, it was a good challenge. And there are more and more and more of those. You get 4, because I think you get 12 of them. 4 times 4, 16. You get 16 of these challenge levels in total, and they are so hard. But also at the same time, they feel so rewarding to beat, especially in the very, very final level of the game. It is one of those challenge levels as well as being like the extra one, and it rewards you for pattern creation and like doing the same thing over and over again and getting really, really good at like having that rhythm of movement. And it rocks.
It is nice
rocks.
that there's an acknowledgement that platformers, there's a spot for, I'm not just going to say older, but more experienced gamers to still get something out of these games. Because a little part of me, when this got announced, is like, I really want to look forward to this, and I hope by World 4, I'm not just like, I'm good at platformers and I'm really bored at this. It's like, there needs to be, even if it's an optional thing, some element of this that does feel like it has challenge
That's where
to
the
it.
challenge
And I
levels
think
come
it's
in.
it's smart of them to do, because they know that a huge player base of this will be people who've grown up on those platformers and need that challenge. And yeah.
It feels perfect for everyone. It feels perfect for people who have that. Sorry.
That's what it says on the store page.
Well, do you know what's funny? Speaking to that, I said to Ruby earlier in the week, I was like, it's $120 to buy on the digital store.
Is
I
it?
thought
What?
this was free.
Whoa.
Like,
What the
it's
fuck?
because it is so marketed as a piece of, like, this ties so much in with the brand, and the fact that the previous game was tied in with the console. I'm like, surely this is part of your subscription to Sony, or this is a $30 game they use when, like, I'm not having a go at the quality or the work. I'm saying it is such a representation of, you have a PlayStation, you should have this game. And I was like, the digital version was 129, oh no,
120, which is like
120.
the it's the
RRP.
going.
That's RRP these days.
It's
Yes,
the, yeah,
it
it's the
is,
going
but it just
price
caught
for
me. I
them
was like,
on the
this
digital
should be-
store. I think that will kind of like it's I think it's such a common thing, that kind of vibe, because on the Astro Bot like PlayStation website, they've got like a frequently asked questions, and one of them is Astro Bot free?
Well, it was used as a marketing tool and package, so it carries a little bit of that. So as you said, the jadedness going, here's a mascot. It's like, so free game? And it's like, no, full price. I was like, it's clearly worth every dollar. It's
It
just a
is.
bit of a shock.
It's such a good feel game. Like, and I laughed, I smiled, I cried, I had,
Cried?
The full gamut.
I cried.
I cried in
No,
this
but did
game.
you cry?
Holy
Ruby
shit.
cry because it got so cute you were overwhelmed, or did something hit you in
Something
the feels?
happened.
Something happened.
Something happened, and
Last
I'm
of
not
Us
going to
Dead
say
by-
anything. But
God.
I
Last of Us
cried.
Daughter Bot.
But it is just such a delight.
Yeah, nice.
It is such a delightful game.
It does scream Mario Galaxy,
Like,
doesn't it? Even
it-
just the overworld and stuff.
It didn't stop making me smile, and
Yeah.
This is a game that loves being a video game, and I don't know if that makes sense, but it's just like
totally.
it's such a video game. You know, it feels good, it looks good, and it's so
The
much
ending
fun.
when he goes to get back into his ship and he sees that there's a pro ship for an extra, $500. He's like, jumps into that one.
I'm just glad.
But his
it's-
friend Disky doesn't come along for the ride.